Hump Day Wednesday is what it's called, and Ryland Branch is what I'm called. So let's see if we can put the two together and make 22. The reason I do these little videos and the reason you keep seeing me is because as of late, or actually last year because it's a new year, I had a bit of a challenge finding people that are willing to kind of step up and take my place because this ain't necessarily the place that I really like to find myself. I like to be behind the scenes more or less, but until that day happens or that time happens, if there's a job needs to be done, then I just go ahead and do it so that I can consider it done. So that's where we're at with it, not so much narcissistic and want to be in your face all the time on some look at me, don't you see what I'm talking about type of thing. But nonetheless, today's message is important, so we can go ahead and take just a little bit of time out and give it a listen because, well, it's about the internet. Whatever you feel is important, well, chances are you're going to come to the internet. If you're watching this message, it's on the internet. If you're not watching this message, it's on the internet. You have to go on the internet and know that you're not going to look at this message. Look at the messages that you do want, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your laptop, whether it's on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Ditter, or whatever the name of the site, or whatever the internet is where it's at. So let's keep it 100 because that's what this is all about. This SOPA debate that we're talking about. And chances are, if you're on the internet today, you're going to see something about it. Even Google has a little protest marker up there, and chances are some of the sites that you visited, they probably referenced it. What we're going to do is something a little bit different, which is one, keep it brief, and two, give you the more burgers and fries type of explanation of what's going on, because that's what some people come to Pimp Hop for, to get the scoop and the language that makes sense to them. So we're going to give you the burgers and fries approach, and that way you can know if you want the soda to go with it to be supersized or you just want a small and keep it moving. So anyways, basic burgers and fries approach, yeah, keeping it simple. I actually have a lot of content and insight to offer in this particular subject. I mean, a book's worth or a volume of books worth is very important. But keeping it simple, once again, just going to lay out 4 quick principles and leave a little mystery about it and let people fill in their own blanks based on what you're seeing and hearing here at pimpop.com. So number 1, up here on the top of this web magazine, it says in fine print, pimphop.com, internet magazine, quote, even online, it ain't easy. And that's an accurate statement. It's been there ever since, but now we're starting to see it come to light. Even online, it ain't easy. And what you're seeing is a result of it, the chaos and confusion, lack of order. It's disorderly and chaotic and complex. Even online, it ain't easy, and it's increasing in complexity. But we also know that somebody's got to do it because that's the only solution to the problem. So whether it's online or offline, somebody's got to do it. But you already know that part, but we're going to stay following. Even online, it ain't easy. So that's where you're seeing this whole debate that's listed up top as far as the internet piracy and debate going on between the major sites and internet censorship and blah, blah, blah. But this is the burgers and fries approach for people that don't necessarily want to get all off into the technicalities and get lost, or the legalities and get lost. But it's something you need to know about. So let's move on to point 2. Point 2, just off the top of the head, is an interesting point of notice. My very first job that I ever worked at 16 years old actually happened to be at the movie theater. A really enjoyable and enlightening experience. I'm thankful for that opportunity because of how much it actually taught me. And even at that time, I was totally clueless about actually how much I learned from working at the the movie theaters, Edward Cinema, Town Center. And some people that know me for a long time, like, hey, yeah, we know you used to work there. We used to be there all the time, yeah, because to hook up. But that's kind of a little bit of how it all got started. So became aware of people's needs and why they come out and what they look for as far as enjoyment and why you buy the popcorn and the candy and how you like the movie to be and how the film is put on the projector and what, I mean, just a lot. Probably could have went to film school, but now the game said, just have you work at this movie theater and you'll find out what you need to know. So what's important about that in regards to how it relates to this? One of the most important things about that is in the fact that, well, it was before the time that Al Gore supposedly created the internet. And since it was that, it was before the time where an individual had the opportunity to perhaps download or burn a copy of the latest movie. So the point I'm making with that, which is why I'm appreciative of that experience, is simply because, well, I had a job, and with the internet, because everybody's downloaded or got a copy of the bootleg, I've done it, you've done it. If you haven't done it, do it at least once to see how it feels. But the reason why we all might want to reconsider our steps is because as soon as a person downloads or gets a copy, well, some 16-year-old or 17-year-old, or especially at this particular point in time, any age, well, they'll be without a job. It's simply as simple as a person decides to go ahead and download a free copy. But you know, it's kind of individualistic like that in this day and age. Hey man, I'm just trying to get mine, and shit, I ain't giving a shit about what I'm just trying to get mine. The internet has come up. We become like that. But that's just kind of to open people's eyes to help to see just how much of a part each individual has to play in the total whole puzzle and scheme of things, or however you want to put it. Everybody has a part to play. Even a little bit of thing, it will turn out to be a lot. So somebody doesn't have a job at the movies. Somebody doesn't have a job to deliver the products that go in the movies. Somebody doesn't have a job to work in the warehouse that houses the products that belong in the movie. Somebody doesn't have a job at the restaurant across the street or next to the movies, or the guy wants to take his girl, or friends want to go out for a bite to eat afterwards, but you're not even at the movies because there ain't no movie because somebody downloaded it, and well, people are going to be missing out on jobs just because of that tendency. And if we want to say, well, shit, I'm all good, I got a job, so do my thing and let everybody else worry about themselves. Well, technically, we have to reconsider and say, well, if that's true, only for a short amount of time, because if I or somebody else doesn't have a job, we don't have the money to come patronize where you think you might be working and staying, and well, you might be in the same boat wondering what's going on. But that's just opening up some insight into that type of behavior and look at some things that we might could change. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 is dang, we go on fast, but really keeping it brief nonetheless, but it's important. Number 3 is having to do with the whole government intervention in regards to matters of the internet. I mean, it's kind of a spirit in the air of people saying, yeah man, free internet. The internet is free from government intervention and censorship, and you know, that whole type of approach, which I can understand. I mean, people want to be free to say what they say. That's what the country is built on, free speech supposedly, and there's that whole innate fear of the government censoring people and what they have to say, and the internet being intervened with by a government body, especially the United States of America. But check this angle out though. As prolific and innovative and advanced in thought and globalized as a person might want to be in regards to internet business, if that business is actually a business and it's registered as a business in the form of a corporation in the borders or territories of the United States of America, the chances are you're going to be paying some taxes. And if you're paying taxes, you're paying to the same government that does, in fact, have the ability to offer some intervention should it be necessary. And that looks to be what it's showing. President Obama hasn't really laid out a clear idea in regards to the type of legislation that he might want to sign off on, but it has been brought to his attention. He has spoken on it briefly here and there, but it's an issue that's come up that needs to be addressed because there's two sides to the story. You have free speech, but then you also have commerce, and since we're dealing with the economy, well, there's a post a couple ones down on pimpop.com that might give just a little bit of indication of where his thinking is and in what direction he might be headed. Let's get things simplified and let's centralize the pimping so that we don't have all these different types of places to go to. But you can ask him. That's why he's there. He's the president, and there's some insight in regards to his thinking in regards to internet and business and how it's supposed to work. But that's number 3. Keep it real with yourself. The government does have the ability and the willingness to step in should it be necessary for the greater good of the entire whole, even though the internet is intergalactic. Point number 4. What could we make point number 4? I would have to say again, looking at this particular post that I made and this particular picture from Wikipedia, which I actually appreciate. As you know, if you frequent these sites, I use it quite frequently. Particular blackout message today says, imagine the world without free knowledge. And that's what kind of prompted this post, because I had to really think about things a little bit more in depth. So if I imagine a world without free knowledge, it would probably look like a world prior to the one that is in existence right now, which has its ups and its downs, because in the world prior, you did actually have an absence of something that looks to me from the news, watching CNN and Fox, or reading the papers, or going to the business websites, is something that people actually want to be without as well, which was in the world prior to knowledge being free. What is it that we were without? A high-ass unemployment rate. If knowledge is not for free, but actually is for a fee, that means it's a product that has value. And my friends, valuable products and the ideas behind them are in fact what create jobs. I mean, I'm not a Harvard trained economist, but I know enough to know that businesses are based on products, and products come from ideas and knowledge, and products are bought and sold, produced and consumed. So in a world without free knowledge, if the knowledge was for a fee, probably do a good job of retaining the value of that knowledge and actually give us something in the process, which is a better job creation. Libraries, if you still go there, they do cost money. Library card costs money. Staff the library costs money. Taxpayer dollars, but tax is money. And the books and the pages and the shelves and everything, it costs money to live in America. I mean, who am I to say otherwise? But just keeping it real with myself and communicating. At times, some pro bono game might be necessary. You see plenty of it here, but that's just for the general good of the game, for the betterment of the whole. But in actuality, we have to really look at that in a sense to say that things that cost actually do give it some kind of value. That's how we keep things intact. But that's a whole nother philosophical story about money and its need and trade and so on and so forth. But anyways, was going to keep it brief, and actually it is because I have a lot to offer on this particular subject. But just to make sure you got in, it was a good investment of time. You got the burgers and fries explanation of what's going on with this thing. And at the end of it, what you're seeing is just a balancing out. Everything exists in a delicate balance, and if you pay attention to it and you know what it is, well, then it'll help you to make better decisions in regards to what you're witnessing, and not just it being put into your face, put in front of your sight, I should say, and you're not really knowing what's up. So you have burgers and fries, a little ranch dressing and ketchup for your fries, and maybe a little chili or relish for your hamburger. So enjoy. We're going to keep it brief, and if you listen, I appreciate it, and we look forward to keeping the show on the air.